Hello everybody and welcome to School of War. Today we are going to be taking a look at Germania, one of the weirdest and the most interesting maps in the game. So Germania is a fairly large map where there are three main flanks and not many strategic points. This makes the map very fluid. So at one moment you will be fighting over in these hills, and in the other moment you will be trying to defend your right side around these towers. Now you could say these towers constitute as a strategic point, and I would say at best they would be a minor point. The reason for that is because their placement does not look towards a main passageway, with an exception of this one looking towards this road and the river, but those mainly indicate if those flanks have been lost. That is their main indicator. The middle ground is a muddy ground. As such, whoever is over here is going to get shot at, and most importantly, they're going to get slowed, giving them more time to cross and get shot at. So this is very important when it comes to middle of this map. The bases themselves are built in a non-diametrical way, in a sense that the bases, they're all circular. They have got 3 entrances in total. However, the rise over here is a lot smaller than the other base, which we are about to see right here. This actually does make a difference quite a bit, because these ledges being climbable gives more area to block, but also leaves more room for the cavalry to come in and hit them in the back. So this asymmetrical gameplay sometimes comes in handy, but most importantly, because of the size of the map, buying time becomes essential. So with these artillery hills, their position, their status will allow you to see which flanks have been lost and whether you should fall back to defend your base. Now, the reason why I'm emphasizing flanks being lost and defending your base is because this map has a very hard terrain. It's got this mud that's going to be slowing you down. It's got these bushes that you can be ambushed in. You've got all these forests that will slow you down. And even the shortest path also being most dangerous, and the longest paths being very slow. I mean, just look at this right here. A very long and arduous way, but if you can get in, you will be in. So in general, it is very much better to hold the flanks and wait for the enemy to make the first move. If you are in a situation where you have a Mexican standoff, what you need to do, you use your skirmishers to force the enemy to advance. So let's take a look at the main flanks. Without further ado, the northern hill. This northern hill used to be the most contested area because it has vision towards the whole map. It allows you to shoot even towards, slightly towards middle. It gives you vision over this whole middle area and this northern flank. Underneath that, there is this passageway where your infantry mainly comes in, and these bushes over here can allow you to hide a few units for a surprise attack, even allowing you to rout the enemy with a single flank. We are going to talk about surprise flanks in the future, but for now, this is something that you need to remember. These tall grass over here will be able to hide your units. Some stakes are very common in this area. Pikemen, again, very common and very dangerous. So you need to be careful. In fact, that is why most recently this area has become a lot more popular than the top of this hill in comparison to a few months ago. The middle way is usually the rush way, where you finally scout the opponent when you know where they're weaker. If they are weaker in the middle, you can charge in, but quickly retreat, because a hard push will leave you vulnerable from the north and the south. The south in general is the furthest flank. It is the furthest from all the bases, but light infantry is able to quickly traverse this area, giving them the ability to quickly cap or harass the base. And so those are the three main flanks when it comes to Germania. There are a few smaller roads that are not very well traversed. If you are defending on this side, you should be holding the enemy right here, because there's a very small passage over here allowing you to block it with pikemen or spearmen, as well as the ability to hide your units prevents the enemy from anticipating what kind of force you're going to bring. On the other side, we have a very similar situation. Fighting the enemy within this area gives you a huge area to hide in, but because it is kind of on the side, on an ambush flank, because it is kind of on an ambushing side, the most popular way to use it is to hide javelins, archers, and some infantry over here and just surprise attack the enemies in the middle as well as in the woods. This area has a little larger gap, meaning some cavalry is able to pass from here and might be able to hit you in the middle. That is something you need to be watching about. Because of the lack of vision obscuring obstacles in the way, you can also watch the horizon for any incoming archer fire and artillery. This map is also a home to some very strange vision areas. For example, when you start, your vision area is only this bright area, so you can have these pockets where you do not see the enemy. That's why scouting becomes essential to your position. So this was Germania. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you want some more arena action, check out the playlist on the side, and we'll see you next time.